All right, welcome back to the podcast, guys. I'm Rafael Espinoza,
Miguel Espinoza.
and this is another solo pod for today's topic. We're gonna be covering injuries. You know, it's unfortunately a big part of the game, big part of sports. So we'll be covering that topic today. I think before, it was my birthday last month. My birthday's on January 14th, and Yuli, our producer, got me a gift. I opened it already, but we had to retake this because I ordered food and he came in and kind of messed up our whole first shoot. So this is what Yuli got me. It's a jacket, sick Nike. It's a windbreaker on one side and then it's reversible to a, what do you call this?
Like a fleece.
A fleece jacket.
Yeah.
So it's pretty dope. So I want to say thank you, Yuli. Thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate it. So if you didn't wish me a happy birthday, you're fake, but it's all good. 23 now, man. It's getting old.
22.
Let's get into today's topic. You and I have both suffered our own injuries.
Yeah.
Let's get into yours first. So, what injuries have you suffered? Suffered sounds so terrible, but what injuries?
Yeah,
did you
I
go
mean
through?
that it was pretty like suffering.
You suffered, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so what injuries did you go through?
So I tore my ACL early, my left ACL and my left knee,
How old are you?
14, 15. Yeah, at the time I was playing with grown-ups. But yeah, I tore that, and then about 2-3 years later, I had to get it done again because it got loose, and same problems kept happening. And then I think a year or two later, I tore my ACL on my right knee. So yeah, those are the major injuries, and my left knee is still loose. Like it got loose again.
Yeah.
So now it's yeah, I feel like I'm a retired player. That's why I'm in like coaching and stuff. But also because I love the game.
Yeah, but okay, so what graft did you get for your left knee?
So I don't know at the time, but I was 14 and you gotta listen to the doctors.
Yeah.
And so they used my hamstring graft, which at the time, it sounded normal. I think what the doctor said was it's different from what they usually do, but that she thought that it would be more like stiff, or it would be more secure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For my physical therapy, I didn't really focus on
Strengthening
hamstring
your hamstring.
hamstring strength.
I think that's so dumb. Like that to me.
I know we did some, but like it wasn't like a big portion of it. It was just like one exercise.
But like for me, you're 14, 15, and you're taking a piece out of your hamstring.
Not even developed fully.
Right. Like to me, it makes no sense. Now you're just more prone to more injuries. Because that's just such a big muscle group that you use to play. From what when I was going through my process, is that different orthopedic surgeons specialize in different grafts. And from the people I spoke to, like the patella tendon was the best
Right.
graft to go with, because I think like the only the major downfall with it is that you could develop patella tendonitis, but that's like more like down the line.
Right.
But you're not like weakening any muscles and stuff. So that's why I think it's so unfortunate that you tore it so young.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the right people around you to kind of like guide you through that. And they just use your hamstring graft, and you have no idea. You're gonna do it. And then I think that's probably ultimately why it kind of led to you re-injuring it. Not your downfall, but you re-injuring it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's still to this day. And I believe a lot of it has to do with my hamstring. So
I mean, there's either somebody currently dealing with an injury, or has dealt with an injury, or may deal with an injury later, who again has or will go through something like that you went through. Mm-hmm. How was it when you were 14, 15? So like that's really young. When you're that young, having that big of an injury, did you realize how big of an injury it was, or?
no, I think I was more concerned that I was out for 6 months.
Yeah.
At the first time I got it, because I was gonna play.
Yeah.
But I wasn't necessarily scared. I thought I would be okay, like after the surgery, because that's what surgery's for, right? To fix it. So at the time I was just like, okay, surgery, then
Then you're good.
then I'm good.
Yeah.
But I didn't take care of it.
Right.
I was 14, and my insurance didn't really cover everything. So whenever I went to a physical therapy session, I had to pay like
Yeah.
I forget what you call it, but you pay a certain amount, and I was young, and
Yeah.
then I was just like, I know, like I was only 15 or 14, 15, but I was already driving, like barely starting to drive. And the drive was like 20 minutes away from where we live.
Mm.
So yeah, at a point I just stopped going, and
Yeah.
I didn't really do the exercise at home. And
Then at the 6 month mark, you were like back into playing.
yeah, right
That's
when
so
I got
crazy.
cleared.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was times where because he told me, they did tell me like do your exercise at home, but
Right.
in my head I'm just like, oh, I feel fine, like I'm good to go. Like I probably even started playing early, to be honest.
That's
But
so crazy.
yeah, no, but I do think it is the hamstring, because same thing happened with my right knee, but they used my patellar tendon,
Uh-huh.
and
Your right
I've
knee's
never
good.
had any problem since.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
But I personally still, it's not like my left knee's not good, but I know from your experience, like you actually committed and obviously had the right people
Right.
around you.
Yeah.
So your process was definitely like different compared to mine, because I feel like I didn't really have anyone around me
Right.
to really, like I had my parents obviously, but they didn't know any better. They were just
Right.
like, okay, what you tell me what you need to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like for me, like it's trying to see like the positives and things, but like luckily, say it in quotes, like I was going into UCI when I tore my ACL. I mean, that's like the most unfortunate thing you could possibly do is go into your first year with an injury, especially an ACL injury. But um, it was good in the sense that I already had people there to help me, and I had like the proper trainers there who could help guide me through the injury. Um, but yeah, no, like I did. I kind of, but my situation, because I knew that you've gone through these injuries. So my situation, I knew kind of like how serious of an injury it was, and I knew how to, what I needed to do in order for me to like come back stronger and better,
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from your process. Um, but, but yeah, so that's why it's like the fortunate part of it was that I was already going into UCI, so I had the right people to guide me through it. How did you injure your knee the first time?
I was playing Sunday League with adults with our, what is he? Our
The,
cuñado, what do you say? How do you say it in English?
our brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I don't know why that didn't come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to play Sunday League with him. And I was the type of player that was, a little flashy, technical. So I think I provoked a couple guys.
Yeah. You probably.
And then, yeah, next thing you know, I get slide tackles from behind. And it felt like his whole body was on my leg. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like the whole impact, because it was a slide tackle.
Yeah.
And he landed on me. And I just felt a dead leg. And I didn't hear a pop or anything. I felt like it was a dead leg.
Yeah.
And I had to drag myself out. They didn't call a foul. They kept playing, so I had to drag myself out. It's Sunday League, so they don't care. And yeah, I just thought it was a dead leg, and then went home. And then that same week, we had tryouts for the high school. I think it was during the summer. And my knee gave out, like, and I felt like some nasty, like, sharp pain on my knee area. And I don't know what it was, because I've never been through anything like that. And so I had to go to the doctors, got x-rays, and had to get MRI.
Yeah.
That's when they told me the situation and how long I was going to be out. And yeah, dude, I mean,
Yeah, that was like the most, for me, when I found out that I tore mine, dude, that was like the most like painful news that like my heart
dude, I
dropped, like,
cried.
like, yeah.
I cried though when he told me about the length I was going to be gone. Not because I tore it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know.
I cried as soon as they told me what it was. See, I had yet to get the MRI, but I went with somebody, with an orthopedic surgeon, and he just checked my knee.
Testing and stuff.
Yeah, he did all the testing, and then he goes, okay, it's not, he's like, okay, like the MCL seems fine, that kind of thing. So you kind of, like positives, and you're like, okay. And then he goes, ooh, and he keeps rechecking, and he keeps rechecking. He's like, okay, the ACL could be torn. I'm like, basically tears.
Who's that guy, dude? I need to go to him. Check with my knee. What's wrong with my knee?
Yeah, no, he someone that Sika knows.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I think he might be retired now, but he just assuming, just from like from his
right.
experience, and then he goes, and then then I got the MRI, and then he's like, yeah, it's ACL and meniscus, but dude, yeah, I don't know.
What was the worst part? Like, what throughout the 6 to 9 months? How long were you out? 9?
I waited almost a year for me to
What
go
was
back.
the worst part in that?
The worst part?
Like, yeah. From.
Oh, dude, I think I guess like in terms of pain, I was in so much pain the first 2 weeks of after like post surgery. It's so painful once like the medication goes.
You do even the medication that I took, I forgot what it was, but that made my head hurt so much.
Oh yeah.
So I had a headache and my leg was killing me, dude.
Yeah, but those 2 weeks were so painful because you had to sleep on your back in like a
Legs
certain
straight.
position. I can't
can't
sleep
bend
like
it.
that. I sleep on my side, like, knees bent, all curled up. Like I can't sleep like,
Yeah.
like dude, so that I lacked a lot of sleep. My knee was always like aching, like, oh, that was so painful. So those first 2 weeks were tough, but I guess the hardest part of the whole recovery process, or that whole entire process, I think would have been it's just like sitting out, watching, because it was during season and stuff. So watching
Yeah.
them play, like watching them train. I was at every session watching them train. That was painful because it was just like you feel so left out. You feel like that's all you want to do in the moment. So, but I'm like the most proud of my mentality going through it all. Because, dude, I mean, I've told you before, but like when I first found out that I tore my ACL, like it was like that. It was that like automatic default like reaction where in my head I'm just thinking like, why me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why does this have to
Feeling
happen
sorry
to
for
me?
yourself,
Like, yeah, like that feeling of like feeling sorry for yourself. I think for me only lasted a few hours. Because then I started really thinking like, all right, what's gonna help me get to my goal? And it was like, am I gonna, like, feeling sorry for myself gonna help me get there? Or there needs to be a switch, So I quickly realized that I just need to go through it. It happened. It is what it is, and I determine what my future is gonna be. So
Did you even documented all this process, no?
yeah, dude.
What got you to do that? Like, why'd you?
I don't know. I think, well, it wasn't until after surgery that I started recording. But I started doing that because I knew I needed time. I needed to focus some time on something because it was gonna be a long process of nothing. And yeah, it was. It was a long process of nothing. Like after surgery, like first week or two, you're just you have to lay in bed, and there's a lot of hours just there, and so I spent a lot of time just editing videos, taking videos, that kind of stuff. It helped me pass time. It helped me kind of keep motivated as well because I'm like, okay, in a month, how are the videos gonna look? Like, what's the updates gonna be? I always wanted the updates to be positive,
Right.
So that was kind of like things to look forward to, and it helped a lot with my recovery.
For sure.
It was like I like binge watched series, a bunch of different series because of how bored I was. But ultimately I had to switch up my mindset from feeling sorry for yourself to like being motivated to attack the challenge. And I think ultimately that's what got me through it, and that's what got me here, because I feel like my leg is stronger than it ever was.
Yeah, dude, they're huge.
Yeah, but I feel stable. If I still get those, like, it doesn't feel the same. I don't think it ever feels the same. It feels achy, sometimes after like hard weeks of training and stuff. But it's good. I feel stable. I feel strong.
That's good.
And yeah, that was all thanks to like having the proper guidance around me, having the proper mindset going through it, and then sticking through the schedule and the recovery.
Yeah.
I think ultimately that would be my biggest piece of advice to anybody who's dealing with an injury, is to seek out guidance from people who have are going through that injury, have gone through that injury, or people who are familiar and worked with people who have gone through those injuries. So seek out guidance, seek out some help in that sense. Don't be like, don't think you need to go through it yourself. And yeah, and then it's just, it's easier said than done, but develop that mindset of like, I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it. I need to get through it. That's kind of like, that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah. I think for me, what most people don't realize is this takes away from your development. Like if you don't take care of yourself, think about it. I got 3 surgeries, and one of them I had to be out for a year because they had to renew it. So they don't understand that. Yeah, I tore it at a young age, but that's 2 years. I mean, that I could have been developing in terms of like as a player.
Becoming a better player, right?
Yeah, and yeah, not taking care of yourself and not being consistent with the exercises they give you. Like honestly, I think my best advice would be consistent with the recovery process, be consistent with the exercises, the rehabs, even after you're cleared. Just do that every other day, just to keep yourself strong in all aspects of your fitness, and so you won't, you could prevent those injuries. That's why they're called injury prevention exercises.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are inevitable. I think like you will deal with something, whether it's minor or it's a big injury. So, but yeah, like you said, like doing those injury prevention workouts will like minimize the risk of it. Is there any like, I know you, well, at least for me growing up, you would always tell me to avoid Sunday league, avoid playing high school soccer. Even I broke my collarbone playing high school, and I had to like miss out on quite a few big opportunities because of it. I know you were big on me like not doing it. Would you, now being a high school coach, would you tell players to avoid it, or does it depend on the
I think it just depends on their situation. Like if you have something already coming, like you, for example, the only reason why I was telling you to avoid all that was because you've already committed to a D1 university, and we didn't want anything to.
The only reason I was doing it was like for the fun of it.
Yeah, because you wanted to play with your friends, and that's cool. But like, if you actually have your priorities straight and you want to pursue this to become like professional, then don't mess it up. Don't mess up the opportunity if it's already like not secure, but like if it's already like there for you to go through it.
Yeah, if it's not necessary.
Yeah, if it's not necessary for you to. But like, I don't despise having players play high school soccer. Not to say that it's not a good opportunity for you to get looked at, but in reality, most high schools
don't get looked at. Yeah.
But that all just depends on like who your coach is.
It's situational for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely situational.
And I think in your situation, one, you've already committed to a university.
Yeah.
Two, I don't think the coach was bringing anyone to look at players.
Right. I would say trainings and games itself are you're at a risk of getting injured.
You can get it could be even training on your own.
Right. So you are at a risk of getting injured. Now, I would say minimize those risks by taking care of your body properly, and minimize those risks by avoiding putting yourself into situations where you could get hurt. Like, for example, if I was telling you at 14, if you're 14, 15, I would say, if you want to go play Sunday League, sure, but be smart about it. You're over here trying to make a fool out of these old guys who don't care.
Right.
And they're gonna come and they don't care to hurt you. They don't care if they hurt you. So I would say if you are a young player who's very flashy and likes to kind of make a mockery of other players, that's not the place to do it. And I would highly avoid doing that because you're just, you just be smart with
knowing a target. Yeah.
Yeah, knowing where you're playing, who are the players you're playing against, and how important of a game that actually is. If it's not that important of a game, I don't think you should really put yourself in situations where you're going 50-50 into crazy tackles.
Right.
Now, if it's a championship game for like your academy team or something, different story. I think you wanna give your best there. But yeah. All right. I mean, I think that was pretty good. I think we kind of gave our injury backgrounds, how we. Oh, I didn't really say how I tore mine during training with academy, and
Just
it
landed
was
wrong,
just unfortunate. Yeah, I like went up, got bumped, went up for a header, got bumped, and then landed wrong, and then yeah, pop. But again, it can happen at any given moment.
It's very common, especially now. Like you see players playing almost every other day.
But like what we said though, like I think I didn't prepare my body well enough for
Right.
these trainings because I think I overtrained to that point where my body just couldn't. It was a regular kind of situation. Just my legs, I don't think they're too fatigued to be able to like
Right.
withstand it, and that's
Makes
what ends up happening. So like
Yeah, dude,
overtraining is a thing.
At that time, you were with the pro team, and you're training in the academy.
Yeah. So it was like double.
Yeah, double days every day. That's
Yeah, pretty
insane.
much. So I was, yeah, definitely overtrained. Didn't take care of my body well enough. Lacked sleep. Lacked
Yeah.
a lot of things.
And
So,
dude, I know players from the high school at least. Like they play obviously high school. They come train in high school, and then at night they go play indoor,
yeah,
and then they go do other stuff. Like, and it's every day
yeah. So the rest is definitely important.
for sure.
So, yeah, I think for injuries, again, it's inevitable. You play a contact sport, it's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
be smart with how you take care of your body. How you can minimize those risks of injuries, and if you do withstand an injury, how you can overcome it, and it's a lot of it's mental and
Just doing what you gotta do.
perseverance, Brandon. Yep. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy the pod. We're gonna keep doing these solo podcasts, covering different kind of topics, giving our experience on them and our opinions on it. And yeah, you have anything?
Make sure you follow him without a doubt _athletics.
Yeah.
And follow Rafael Espinoza.x, Miguel Espinoza.x.
Yeah. I'll see you guys next time.